Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Luandile here, the leader and the instructor of Manikwa School. Today, we're actually going to be doing exercise 3.8, and the exercise is simply to let me just show it to you guys. We got to write a program that prompts the user to enter 3 integers and display the integers in non-decreasing order. Okay, I've already created a class and I've named it 3.8b. As you can see, you guys, I've created a scanner. I've prompted the user to enter 3 integers and I've stored those integers, and lastly I closed my scanner. I just did this for the sake of saving time, you guys, because we all know how to create a scanner, how to fetch user input, so on, right? So we gotta jump onto the critical part of this exercise. Okay, and this is the one right over here. Okay, this is it right over here. Firstly, we're gonna deal with, let me put this, deal with a case where a user enters numbers that are in decreasing order. See, these numbers are already in decreasing order, so we don't wanna, we must try to swipe any 2 of them. Then we would know that those numbers are no longer in a decreasing order. Okay, now how do we check whether numbers are in decreasing order? We simply say we check if first number is greater than or equal to second number, and the second number, if first number is greater and second number is greater than or equals to third number, second number is greater than or equals to third number. Okay, in this case we would know that first number is greater than or equal to second number, and second number is greater than or equal to third number. We know in this case that these numbers are indeed in a decreasing order. So what you want to do in that case, we need a variable that will, okay, a variable that determines the number to display first. Simply called that number our first number, our first random position. Simply get that by doing this. We've been using method random for quite some time now. I hope everyone knows what is this. Line 21 does. Okay, now that we've got this is basically a random number between 1, 2 and 3. So we need a variable, we'll call it, let me just continue, and then we ask ourselves if first random position, if that is equals to 1, what we then do, we gotta display that number. System.out.print will display first number, first number and the last 2 would be, also basically displaying the first number, and then it can be any of these 2 that are left actually, right? Okay, let's do it this way. This is what I'll check. Oh, now that we've displayed our first number, the second one has to be either the second number or the third number. In fact, it cannot be the second number. Why? Because this is already in a decreasing order, and we gotta find a way to avoid displaying it as a decreasing number. Okay, so it's a must for us. It's not like we have a choice to have our third number as a number to display next. Okay, it seems like we did this part. Okay, what else now? Let me just go to the next line so that we can properly see. Okay, else if our first random number is 2, our first random number is 2, then we simply display the second number. Let's just do it this way. System.out.print. What we do is we display the second number, and then we give it a space. Now question is, which is the next one to display? Because we know that these numbers are already in a decreasing order. The fact that we've already started by displaying the second number, it implies that whichever one we pick between first number and third number is gonna make this is gonna result on a non-decreasing order list of numbers. Okay, however, we gotta think of cases where numbers are equal, right? However, I'm gonna leave that to you, but right now what we're gonna deal with is deciding which number to display next. This year, this is gonna be a random number between 0 and 1, which will simply tell us which one between third number and first number determines the second number to display. This is what this thing tells us. Okay, if that's a minor is equal to 0, that simply tells us that this is what system.out.print. We'll simply go first number, then we concatenate it with a space, then go third number, right? Otherwise, else we'll have this the other way around. First number, it's gonna be third number, we concatenate it with first number. Okay, these are the cases. Okay, now if else, this is the last part, by the way. else. Okay, else. So this else part simply tells us that the random number to display first is actually system.out.print is the that integer, that number and then we concatenate that with a space. Okay, now it is time to determine which one. Again, we're gonna have determiner. Bear in mind, you guys, these two variables, the determiner we have on this else block and this determiner here, they are completely independent. They don't even know each other. Okay, what we'll then do, we go if determiner equals 0. We'll start by printing the first number. Print first number space and then second number. Okay, otherwise it's gonna be the other way around. Again, you guys, at any point in time, feel free to let me know in case you think I've messed up somewhere, or you can observe that. Feel free. It's not like there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. We all learners, so if you are a programmer, you gotta know you are a learner, and it's gonna take you. That's gonna last for eternity. I mean, it will last forever. So learning is an infinite process, basically. So now that we've got this, we gotta go to our else part. The else part, this is actually the part where you were given numbers that are basically not in a decreasing order, right? However, we can of course simply display the the user input as it is, right? And then we simply get our solution. However, that would make our program a bit static. By that I simply mean it won't be as dynamic as it's supposed to be, right? So what we want to do, we want to first find the maximum of all. If first number, in fact we need to get a number in the middle. You can do it in whichever way you please. So let me just try to find the minimum of the three. So if first number is less than, let me define max, and max I'll simply leave it as it is. Okay, so now basically I'm looking for max, so I'll say it first. My maximum is first number. Okay, so if first number, let me just go, if max is less than, let me just make this my minimum. So I will simply say my minimum number is nothing else but the first number. Now I'm asking if second number is less than, if minimum is greater than second number minimum, if or it's better perhaps if you look at it. So our minimum is our first number. So if second number is less than our minimum, then our new minimum, second, why can I type? Then minimum is equal to second number. Else if or I can simply go else if third number, in fact this should be an if on its own, an independent if that number is less than minimum, and then I'll simply say minimum. My new minimum number will simply be third number. So basically what I do have at the moment is the minimum value. So we do know, of course, that this is gonna be system.out.print. We do know that we're gonna have minimum as our first value. Minimum. Again, guys, this is actually not the best solution. You probably have something better than this, but I'm just trying to point out how one can go about using if-else statements, right? Which is the main topic, which is the main reason why we even do this. I just want to play around with if-else statements, right? You want to know how to use it, so that's why I'm trying to play around with it as much as you can. I'm trying to play around with selections here. Okay, now we do have minimum. So what else we want to do? Now we gotta print the other two, right? We can print the other two. Okay. Or of course you can go again. I'll simply go if minimum. Again, my point here is to try to play around with this if-else statements. Okay, now if minimum is equals to first number, then we know what to do. Again, else if minimum is equal to second number, we'll know again what to do. And lastly, if our minimum happens to be a number, if our minimum happens to be our third number, what are we going to do? We'll also know what to do. Okay, basically, if our minimum is equals to the first number, then we gotta display, because we've already displayed our first number. So if our minimum is actually equals to the first number, we can either display the third number first, secondly, and then thirdly we display the second number. Again, I'm repeating that part. We've already displayed our first number here. Now what I'm trying to say is, if our minimum is the first number, the second number we'll display is either the second number or the third number, right? And the third number, it will be the one that was not displayed. Let's get on to it. You guys will see. again, we need some kind of a determiner here which will tell us determiner. This will simply tell us which one of the two numbers to display. This will tell us basically the position, or perhaps the number to be displayed next. Yeah, the position of second number. So if I'll go system.out.print and then I'll check this. If determiner is 0, the next number will print is what? Is say first number. Oh, because our minimum is first number, so we can simply go second number. Otherwise, it's going to be dead number. Okay, what we then do, we need to typecast that. We need to concatenate that with oh, we can simply do this right over here. So it will be this plus that. It's gonna be here, we'll simply have plus second number. Again, my point is to try and play around with if-else statements, you guys. That way you will see how they come into play when writing your programs, right? You see right here, I could have done it differently, but I wanted to include this, right? Okay, what we're basically saying here, we're checking, let me talk about this first. This is the case where our user decide to put a list of integers or three numbers that are already not in an increasing order. That is to say, our user decides to put a non-decreasing order of numbers, right? Of course, the simple way used will be to display whatever the user decided to input. However, we don't want to do it that way, because that will make our program more static. However, we want it to be as dynamic as possible. So what we will simply do in that case, we'll pick a minimum out of the three integers, and then we will find the minimum. Once we find the minimum, we simply display our minimum. Once we do that, the next thing we want to do is to determine which of the two remaining numbers do we want to display next. We simply do that by checking if our minimum is our first number. In that case, we would have to, since we've already displayed the first number, we'll then have to display second number and then third number, or third number and then second number. This is what this line tells us. These three lines, they do exactly that. One and the same thing applies. If our minimum is our second number, then we simply we need to print first number and third number. the order will simply be determined by determiner. If determiner is equals to 0, we're asking ourselves that. If that is the case, what we want to display is, we want to display first number, we concatenate that with third number. Otherwise, we simply display that number first. So it's going to be that number concatenate that with first number. Okay, that should be it. Let me try to take this on the next line so that you guys can easily read it through. So what we're saying here basically is if our minimum is our second number, then we'll check whether determiner is 0. If determiner is 0, we'll print first number and third number. However, if our determiner is 1, we'll print that number first. So that simply means that that number is going to be a second number to display, and first number will be a first number to display. Okay. I hope you guys do understand that. However, there's something I want you guys to think about. Do you guys notice that this, I know we haven't yet done the very last case where our minimum is our third number. There's something we did not check here. You see, we only used determiner to determine what number to display next. But we're not taking care of the fact that there is a chance of actually, when we write, so far our algorithm can result on us displaying a non-decreasing list of numbers. Why? We did not check between the two numbers, the last two numbers. We did not check which one to display next, which one is greater than the other. Right? Look at this. Once we display our minimum, we also gotta think of the fact that between the two numbers, probably we might have actually we don't want to do that. Why? Because we displayed. Why? Because our first number is the minimum. So that's the reason why I decided to have minimum, to look for a minimum, not a maximum. Because if we were using maximum, then we would have possibly, if we did decide to use maximum here, and then display the maximum number first, and then in that case we would also have to put another condition inside there, which will check between the remaining two numbers which one is greater than the other, and then display which one is smaller than the other, and then display that smaller number, right? As opposed to displaying a greater number. Because if you do that, if you first find your maximum value, let's call it 3. Suppose we have 1, 2, 3. If you first find your maximum value and it happens to be 3, and then you use this algorithm the way it is at the moment, especially these parts, well, then you might possibly find yourself getting 3, 2, and 1, instead of 3, 1 and 2 only, because why? Your maximum is 3. So the fact that we used minimum, in fact, I kind of forgot. It was the reason why in the first place I chose to use maximum. We know definitely that we would never have a case where we get a result of a number that is in a decreasing order, because why? Our first digits, or rather number to display, is a minimum among the three. Seems like we gotta continue. I know this is taking some time, but you guys, you gotta know, you see, the main part of programming is to know how to do things incorrectly, and that's why this seems like, let me not copy and paste. Oh, in fact, let me just do so. Okay, here we do know that our first number is that number, so we simply gotta replace this with second number. I hope everyone sees where does that come from, and if you don't, I'll explain in a second. This case here is the case where our first number to display is the dead number, right? Okay, once we display the dead number, we'll then check our determiner. If we've generated a 0, we'll display first number and then second number. However, if we display the 1, we'll display second number and then lastly our first number. I hope that's clear, you folks. The trick was here. Once you can find a way to wrap your head around this part, then you're good. I know this exercise is pretty long, but it is worth it, because again, let me cut this. We could have do it like this. This would have worked. Let's just go first number. This would have worked with no questions asked. This would have worked correctly. And if you don't trust me, try it yourself. I'm not going to do so, because right now, you see, this would have worked. Let me just run it so that you guys see. This would have worked. But let's try to put something like 1, 2, and 3. You see, this is a non-decreasing number, and it will always give you what you already, whatever you decided to input. Let's do it for the second time. 1, 2, 3. You see, we keep getting 1, 2, 3. But if we do this and try to put again 1, 2, 3, you see, we're not getting, or in fact, I missed. You see, here we're getting 1, 3, 2. I'm gonna get back to that error of not leaving a space. It's 1, 2, 3. You see, we're getting something dynamic now. Again, it's about making mistakes, you folks. And if you're gonna run away from that, then you're gonna have a problem. Okay. Why do I keep getting that? It's simply because I did not include a space here. Let's do so and rerun our program. Perhaps this is getting closer to an hour now, but if you do give yourself time, then you will know it's worth it. You see, this is dynamic now. And if we try to put a number that is in decreasing order, we're still good. Again, for the very last time, you folks, I am so sorry for being slow. But you see, what I was doing here, I was actually trying to show you guys different way of doing things. I was trying to show you how you can do if-else statement. I know this is long code, but if you can wrap your head around this program, it's easy, yet time consuming, But if you can wrap your head around this exercise, this program, then I can assure you right away you already are good with if else statements. So that should be it, you guys. See you on the next tutorial. I'm conscious.